soccer is that it's sometimes hard to follow the ball. And what he typically will do is follow his friends and follow the crowd, and at points he'll happen upon the ball, and when he gets in, when he finds the ball, he'll kick it down the field, and he has a good time. In handling Cameron's motivation, I think that's something that comes from him. It's hard for us to keep him motivated, and we cheer him on and encourage him, but what it really comes from is him.
Oh, I bet I know it. You're adopted, right?
No, I'm not adopted. I just have albinism.
Albinism? What's that?
It just means that I don't have pigment in my hair, skin, and eyes.
Advocacy is something a person with albinism will have to engage in for their entire life. Teaching people to understand this condition is necessary to reverse the many myths and misconceptions about it.
Advocacy involves acting out of the norm. Most people do not participate in change. People like things to stay the way they are. For those of us with disabilities, we need to go outside of the norm. We need, as is commonly said, to go outside the box, to do things that are often perceived by others to be outrageous. For example, picking up the telephone, calling your congressman, writing a letter to your congressman that you personally write, not being afraid to speak up and say what's important to you, particularly as it relates to your own disability.
In recent years, albinism has been portrayed in a very negative way in some movies that have been produced. And in response to one of those movies, to which several of us had a very, very strong reaction, we put together a book in protest, and we sent that book to the directors of the film and to other people in the movie industry, trying to help them realize the negative impact their work had done.
Support groups such as the National Organization for Albinism and Hypopigmentation, or NOAA, can provide invaluable support to children, their parents, and adults with albinism.
It was founded because people with albinism knew very little about albinism. There was not much available in libraries when people needed to know about their condition. It was also founded because people with albinism didn't really have a chance to meet one another. So what NOAA does is we provide a newsletter and information bulletins about various aspects of albinism. And we also provide conferences and chapter meetings which allow people an opportunity to get to know one another.
It's really a unique experience. It's great. It's the first time I've had an opportunity to meet so many people with albinism ever in my life.
One of my dreams is definitely to be a part of this organization for the rest of my life.
Coming here and going to the different NOAA conferences and reading in the NOAA newsletter has been great for me. I don't know how it's, how it's affected you. I think the albinism is great. I used to think it was just a big downfall.
In the discussion groups and stuff, I've gotten a lot of things off my chest that I've wanted to say for a long time.
NOAA conferences allow special interest groups to meet and freely discuss their shared experiences.
Albinism has its negative side, but learning who your friends are is the best thing too for everyone. So.
NOAA teenagers.
When I first got into high school, I didn't do much. I mean, I'd go to school and I'd come home, and I really wanted to fit in. So my mother told me, if you want to be happy, join. So I joined everything. I mean, I did all the extracurricular activities I could.
NOAA People of Color.
What we intend to do is try to provide support so that those people from a Black community or a Mexican community or a Asian community will feel more comfortable when they first come to NOAA, because they will know that we have experienced some of the same things.
The HPS Network.
We're here representing Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome. And
this rare form of albinism is characterized by a bleeding tendency and can involve lung disease and colitis. Diagnosis of this condition requires special testing of the platelets under an electron microscope. People with albinism lead rich, meaningful lives with successful careers and loving relationships.
I own a balloon decorating company, and we do large-scale decorations and small, simple bouquets.
I'm a family practice physician. I work in downtown Minneapolis.
I'm a teacher at the School for the Blind, and I'm also a marriage, family, and child counselor, and I lead support groups.
For a living.